Welcome to AstroEnergy with Astrologer Angel Shelley Overton. Well, good morning, and at least it is where I'm at. So, my name is Shelley Overton, and you are listening to the AstroEnergy Astrology Show on Blog Talk Radio. Today is February 2nd, Groundhog's Day, and according to Punxsutawney Phil, we are getting an early spring. Doesn't surprise me because my azaleas are already in full bloom here in Orlando, and I haven't had azaleas in my yard for probably 25 years, since I was living with my parents a long time ago, and they bloomed in March, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, a little bit early. Not really surprising. Anyway, lots going on this week, so I'm just going to launch into it. I've got the sun at 13 Aquarius, and he is squaring Mars right now, and he's within 2 degrees of an exact square to Mars in Scorpio. So Mars is at 15 Scorpio. We've got Neptune at 8 degrees Pisces. He is trining Mars. He is in sextile to Venus and Pluto, and he just misses Mercury. He was in sextile to Mercury. And then we have, let's see, I want to know, is this, yeah, it's a now chart. Sometimes my program gives me a sunrise chart if I haven't been paying attention to the last type of chart I produced. So this is a now chart. So actually it was a now half an hour ago. I'm going to update it even more. Give me a second here. There we go. Okay, and South Node is at 22 Pisces. We've got Uranus at 17 Aries. He's in sextile to Saturn. We have him squaring Venus, Pluto, and Mercury in Capricorn. And we have a Taurus rising in the southeastern time zone right now. And we have Jupiter at 22 retrograde in Virgo, squaring Saturn, wide square, about 8 degrees. And let's see, make sure that, and trining all of the Capricorn planets. We have the North Node at 22 conjuncting Jupiter. We have, I already said, Mars at 15, Moon is at 0 degrees Sagittarius, and Saturn is also at 14 Sagittarius. So most of the planets are in one hemisphere, but we do have Jupiter poking around in the southern hemisphere right now. So he is over there at 22 Virgo. But above the horizon where I'm at, we have the Sun and pretty much every other planet except for Jupiter. So that means that we have a lot of energy going on in our daytime. We're going to be very active in the daytime. Mars, I'm going to start at the top on the western horizon, which is Mars. So Mars is at 15 Scorpio. He is in conjunct to Uranus at 17 Scorpio. So Mars is taking action. He is our drive. He's in Scorpio, digging deep, bringing up information that we may have wanted to conceal. So there is kind of a dichotomy with Scorpio, because Scorpio seeks out the hidden, but then when he finds it, it's like, okay, now what do I do with it? Now it has to be brought to light. And normally Scorpios feel very exposed if things are in the light. So they like to have it hidden for the most part, and they like to keep the information to themselves a lot. So Mars is in sextile to Mercury, so that means that as he moves a little bit, well, actually Mercury is going faster than Mars, so he's already had an exact sextile in the last week. So that means information is coming out about things going on behind the scenes around structure. And the other side of it is Mars was sextile Pluto at the same time he was sextiling Mercury, and Mercury was conjunct Pluto, so that is an even heightened awareness of what was hidden because Pluto rules Scorpio. So the information was coming out, and I have a little information, or a little story, I guess, around that, because I had done some work for a client during the Mercury retrograde, and weirdly enough, it took exactly the same path as when I had done a year ago. And so it started out fine, got the information right before Christmas. Then there was a hold on the project. And then, of course, the beginning of the year, we got the Mercury retrograde. I sent an invoice. It was paid. And then it did more work. It came around. She needed the work right away. I sent the invoice. It didn't get paid. She thought it was paid. So after Mercury goes direct, I had to say, hey, what happened? And she's like, well, I paid that. And I'm looking back over my information and it has not been paid. So the same kind of energy is going on. So it's something was done, information was gathered, we thought something was a certain way, then Mars and Pluto / Mercury all ended up in positive aspect, and information was gleaned and came to the surface that what you thought was one way was in fact not that way. And so if you've been having some of this information happen to you, this type of situation, that's why. So Mars is taking action. Mars is like, you know what, I am going to do something about this. And, it's been 3.5 or around 3 weeks, I think, maybe a little longer since I sent the initial invoice. So now everything is in alignment and I'm saying, hey, remember me? So that now is a good time to do that. If you've been having like that quality about a business situation, it's specifically business because Capricorn rules career and business. Any of the earth signs are really good with business, along with Aries and Leo. So I'm not saying the others don't do business well, but those are the ones that have a natural ability for business in different areas, in different capacities. So we have the moon in Sagittarius. So for the next 2.5 days, the moon is wanting freedom, wanting to flirt, wanting to play. Weather is looking beautiful today. That is an energy of Sagittarius because it is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter likes things to be happy and light and bright. So hopefully it is where you are, but maybe you have other afflictions to the city you're in with the Zodiac, so that might not be the case, but definitely the sunshine state needs sunshine. So anyway, so the moon is in Sagittarius, and he'll be approaching Saturn later on today and into the evening. So tonight is a good night to get together and enjoy things, maybe get away a little bit, go somewhere and just get out and about. So let's see, there's so much information I could give you all just looking at these charts, and there's limited time to do it, so I'm going to keep chugging along. Okay, Venus is coming up on conjunction to Pluto. That means, well, she's already technically in conjunction. I do an 8-degree orb, so she's within 4 degrees of a Pluto aspect, a conjunction. And she's also 6 degrees within orb to Mercury. So she's still within orb of Mercury. So communications around the structure of things, the format, again, wherever that falls in your chart, that's where the structure is. It's the structure of home. It's the structure of money. It could be the structure of friendship. Wherever your Capricorn falls, that's what is moving and shaking in your lives right now. And it's also career. So what are you doing for your career? Are you tired of not getting your needs met and being the one who's always responsible, but yet nothing seems to be going anywhere? Now that Mercury's direct and past Pluto, things are going to start to clear up a little bit more. Venus is going to expand our desires around having things take that form that we need them to take. And then in a positive aspect to Mars, and like the combination of coming up on Pluto and in positive aspect to a Pluto planet, and Mars going through Pluto, Mars going through Scorpio. There's a lot of power behind it, and it is about power. It's power structures within career, and where is your power? Are you doing something around your power, making things happen? Now is a great time to start doing it again, now that we have Mercury free and clear. Yes, he, I believe, is still in the shadow till he hits 23. I'm pretty sure he went retrograde at 23 Capricorn, and I will look that up for you right now. So what was I thinking? I know I was probably thinking Jupiter went retrograde at 23. Okay, so Mercury went retrograde at 1 degree Aquarius. So he is still in his shadow until the 14th, Valentine's Day, which could be really good, because then he will be much lighter, brighter, happier, and connecting to other people. So if you remember the energy at the beginning of the year where it felt a little bit freer, a little bit lighter, a little bit clear-headed, that's what we're going to have on Valentine's Day. And it will be a very chatty Valentine's Day, a lot of information coming in. I would not be surprised if there's also another large bit of information. And Aquarius rules storms, but it's more of air energy as opposed to the water energies. So water isn't necessarily triggered, just depending on what aspects are going on then. Venus will probably be past Pluto by then, but Earth sign. So it's probably more inclined, if there's inclement weather, it's going to be more tornadoes and windy weather and strong weather fronts. It's where one type of pressure system butts up against another. And so that creates the wind and the change, which Aquarius is the winds of change. So that's coming up again, Valentine's Day. So I hope that doesn't mess with our Valentine's Day, but I don't hold my breath because, again, Mercury, which is weather, going into Aquarius. Mercury rules the lesser vibration of the same energy. It's electrical, it's clear-minded, it's local weather, and then it's connecting to Uranus, which is strong universal weather. And again, I know that there's some weather going on right now today. Mercury's in square to Uranus, and Pluto as well. So there you go. You've got another storm I hear going through the Midwest, I believe it is, through Iowa and Minnesota. So, yeah, not surprising. But when he gets to Aquarius, he's not going to be in negative aspect to those energies. He's going to be more in in aspect to Saturn and going into it. And so going into aspect with Saturn, which is more fires and heat. So probably by the latter part of February, we'll be seeing more dry areas and heat-prone wind storms, like firestorms, things like that, maybe in the southwest. Okay, so then he comes up on the sun. And so, it's going to be really clear-headed thinking, connecting to other people, networking, issues around computers, actually expansion of computer energies. I wouldn't be surprised if people start buying new computers around that time. It's a really good time to buy a computer when Mercury is in Aquarius, although it can indicate at times when Mercury goes retrograde and Uranus goes retrograde, you will experience issues. So, I'll leave it up to you. You might want to think about it when Mercury just about goes into Aquarius, so like the end degrees of Capricorn. So it's like a fait accompli and nothing negative. It's like a void of course moon, so to speak. The void of course Mercury, nothing serious will happen. That might be the actual better option. Okay, and then Neptune in Pisces, 8 degrees, and he's in trine to Mars. And just actually moving out of trine, it's about 7 degrees, so a little wide orb, but my program actually shows it as in trine. So it's taking action on deep emotional things on the past, people coming back in from the past. Right now in my state, it's up there in the house of friendship, so people coming back in, old past friendships. It's been kind of culminating for the last week or so, and I did have a friend come back into my life from the past. She pops up every now and then, so she came back in this week. And it's good because I wanted to know what was going on. She disappeared for almost a year, and so it's good to catch up. And then Uranus in Aries, exciting us about new opportunities and wanting to really take ownership of that energy around owning your own career and your own network of people and your money from career. And if you're in Aries, you're going to definitely be much more autonomous right now with Uranus direct, which he just did in December. So that's what's going on in the sky right now. And then we're going to take a quick fly through what's going on with the lessons of the Zodiac. So this is a general example of lessons based on your sun sign. Of course, other planets transiting through these signs can trigger life lessons, obviously, depending on what the planet is. So like Saturn, big life lessons. And we'll get to that probably when we go through Sagittarius. But, okay, so Aries. Aries is, it's very similar. I'm going to tell you the whole zodiac is very similar to the energies surrounding those signs and the planets that rule them. So Aries is about learning how to deal with autonomy and doing things the way you want to do them. It is a sign that takes action and wants to just do what it wants to do. It doesn't want to answer to anybody. It's very good at autonomy. It takes action, so it's a physical force going forward. And so some of the lessons come from getting resistance, and of course the opposite sign of a zodiac sign would be the opposition at times. So Libras are the opposite sign. So Libra wants relationships, and Aries is more about the self. They can be selfish, but they are definitely about lessons of the self, the identity, and the ego. So if you come in and you have a lot of Aries energy, it is your life lessons to learn about autonomy or even selfishness. Sometimes we come in, I mean, like, I know my lifetime has been a lot around service. So, theoretically, I could come in another life and learn about this type of energy. And I do have, and this is another thing when you have planets in the first house, and this goes for all of the houses related to the signs. The first house is ruled by Aries. So if you have planets in the first house, part of your life lessons revolve around identity. And I do have planets in the first. I have Moon conjunct Neptune in the first. So it is about personal power and how it relates to ideals around other people, and even the mother because of the Moon. So that's kind of a little example of how that would work in a chart. So life lessons around self versus, the I versus the we, and partnership. Okay, the second house is Venus-ruled Taurus. And so the life lessons of Taurus revolve around money and sense of worth, and how they or we look at people, look at life, and how material things can get the better of us. Gemini, I'm sorry, I spent a bit of time on Aries, but kind of as the way I usually go, I always spend a little more time on the first thing I talk about, and then I realize I'm going to run out of time if I don't get going. And I definitely want to get more callers in today. So Taurus, it's simple. It's about property. It's about possessions. It's about romance and how you treat people maybe more as possessions in the lifetime. Those are the harder lessons of Taurus. And then Gemini is about communication, about telling truth, about how we speak our mind, and the thoughts around around getting your voice heard. So are you being heard in the way that you need to be heard? And, it also is a sign, along with Taurus, may have some issues around the throat chakra, because Taurus is about the throat, it rules the throat, and Gemini is about speaking out. So they both kind of have elements around the throat, and so there may also be issues around throat in your world and not getting heard. Cancer, ruled by the Moon. A couple things with that. Because it's ruled by the Moon, it can also not just be about lessons around home and hearth and mothers. It can also be around understanding energy that changes quickly, because the Moon is the fastest body in our heavens that affects us. And so it's very changeable and emotionally changeable. So emotions are a part of your life lesson as well. Leo's life lessons are about leadership, and they can be about speaking in public. If it's that house, it can be about friendships, and it can also be about children. So, are your children giving you the attention you want? Are you giving them what they need, the kudos? Where's the power structure around being the center of an issue, and the fame point? It can also be about fame, learning lessons around fame. Sixth house, Virgo. Virgo lessons are about self-worth and about altruism and standing up for your own sense of who you are. And a lot of issues that come up, of course, the expression of Virgo is nitpicky, critical. That's kind of the traditional view of Virgo. But the reason that is because Virgos really criticize themselves first and are so predetermined dispositioned towards service that they negate a lot of their value. So, and the earth signs are about value in the material world. So they may have body issues, health issues, usually related to the intestines or digestion, which is translated into feeling like they're worthy of being in this plane, in this physical existence. So those are some issues around Virgo. Libra. Libra is another altruistic sign, and that means that they are the sign that will give to charity and give to those who are less fortunate, probably more than any other sign, maybe even including Virgo. I don't know. It's Libras give away everything to keep peace and to make people happy, and they have somewhat of an idealized view of money because they're an air sign. So there could be some money issues and charity, like I can't keep it, I have to give it away. Again, it's kind of a holdover from the Virgo energy, but it's about the we versus the I. And so it can have issues around never making enough money because they just feel like they need to give it and help the world. So it's a humanitarian sign, and it is about value because of the Venus connection. But again, it's an air sign, so it's also about ideas around money and ideas around the value of others and how to balance that in life. And it can also be around relationships, obviously, because it rules marriage and partnership. So those are the main issues. If you have, even if some of the signs fall in houses that are not their natural house, if it's a Libra sign, say in the third house, it's about communication around relationship. If you have Sun in Libra in the third house, it's about getting those, getting the ego kudos towards what you say and how you speak your truth, and then are you balancing your life with another person? So that's kind of how you bring in some of this information into the zodiac. Okay, so Scorpio energy is about a couple different things. It's about emotions and getting okay with the fact that you are an emotional person and integrating emotions and intuition into your life. And it's about learning about life change and loss, and it is that energy of Pluto. So it's a major life change, and wherever your Pluto is can bring out the Scorpio life lessons. And so, yeah, when you read a chart and you look to the Pluto, okay, so today Pluto's in Capricorn, so life lessons are around personal power, around authority. Do you have any personal power? That kind of thing. So Scorpio lessons around personal power, around information being hidden, although, again, that kind of comes back to personal power. So that's really what it is. And also your value within the world, because it's in the upper quadrant, the upper half of the zodiac. So it's about how you relate to others and how you feel about your own self-worth, because it does rule other joint finances. So do you feel worthy in a relationship, in the world, in situations where other people are around? Sagittarius they have lessons around being able to live out a free life and have the freedom of expression and the freedom of movement. They are also, because they don't want to have consequences for actions necessarily. I'm not saying that's a pure truth. It is an inclination that the Sagittarius energy ruled by Jupiter just wants to have fun and not worry about the details, which is Virgo's realm. So they can be rather cavalier about that part of life. So those can be life lessons, especially now with Jupiter in Virgo and Saturn in Sagittarius. That brings out really strongly those issues because they square each other. And so Saturn is about ownership and responsibility, and Jupiter is about expansion in Virgo, which can be, and retrograde is a little more restrictive. In Virgo, it's an earth sign, so it's really about, again, values and integrity. So integrity issues right now, specifically for Sagittarius, currently with the aspects, it is about, are you living in integrity within your own world? Are you expressing integrity in the workplace, specifically with the Virgo energy and the Saturn energy of career? So integrity and truthfulness are issues of Sagittarius. And then, of course, educational issues. If you have restriction in Sagittarius, you may have issues in life about education or not being able to travel or be restricted because you have traveled or something like that along the lines. Okay, so Capricorn is about authority issues and, again, responsibility. And they are the sign of responsibility, meaning it's not blame. And I really constantly hit this home, how it's not about blame. Blame is ego. Responsibility is spirit. It's about saying, this is who I am, and I own that this is who I am. So it can even mean, because Capricorn, their lessons are about fear and about authority and learning how to integrate fears into life and not listening to things that are not necessarily reasonable. So fear is false evidence appearing real. Big life lesson for Capricorn. And when they can start to make their peace with fear, they can pull back on some of the more controlling issues that Capricorns can be like. Okay, so Aquarius. Aquarius life lessons are about intelligence and integrating the understanding and the truth, the clarity of vision into the world, and pretty much being out of step or a step ahead of most of the rest of the people. So if you have strong Uranus or Aquarius energy in your chart, you're probably running a few steps ahead of other people in your area. It can also relate, of course, to friendship or networking around career, money from career. But I think probably the biggest issues and lessons from Aquarius are about not fitting in and feeling like the other, and then also being so aware of things that people do not catch up to you easily. And then finally, Pisces. Pisces lessons are about boundaries. So boundaries are an energy of structure, and that is earth energy. So if you have strong Pisces in your chart, you want to have a lot of earth energy friends, Capricorns, Taurus, and Virgo, because Pisces, along with the other water signs, with maybe the exception of Scorpio. Scorpio is pretty driven. But Cancer and Pisces are very susceptible to empathy, which means that interacting with people, they don't necessarily put their boundaries up, and they can get lost in those interactions. So because Pisces and Cancer are very intuitive, emotionally intuitive, they do have that loss of self, especially if it's a Pisces sun. Whoever they're around, they chameleon into that type of person. So they have to be very aware of what energy is around them. And so that also bleeds over into their psychic ability, and really learning how to integrate psychic ability and intuition into their lives. And it's universal love. So it's about, really, Pisces are the universal love sign of the zodiac, and so they're universally accepting of people to a fault where they may suffer, and are prone to addiction. So addictions also, and boundaries. So they're kind of hand in hand. When you get your boundaries, you can reduce your addictions. So that is the lessons of the zodiac, and I'm going to take a quickie break, and then we'll be back and take calls. Hey, welcome back. You are listening to the AstroEnergy Show on Blog Talk Radio. My name is Shelley Overton, and I am an astrologer in Orlando, Florida. If you are interested in getting a reading from me, you can get the reading through my website, which is astrologerangel.com. Also, if you're interested in seeing some of the art that I do, I've posted some new paintings to my website, which is shelleyoverton.com, and that is SHELLEY Overton, OVERTON.com. Okay, let's see. Let's take our first caller, 202. Hi, is this Kay?
Hi. Yes, it is. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you? What's up?
I'm doing well, thank you. That was
good.
Great.
Awesome.
The one that you did on all the time. That was great.
Thank you. So, what can I do for you today?
I would just like you to just take a look and see what's going on with transit-wise, maybe with relationship, or if you see anything else that's more pressing and cool, I'll hear that too.
Okay, well, I would say for relationships, right now, because you have Venus, Mercury, Pluto all in your first house, it's more about you. And then not only that, you have Saturn 1 degree off of going into your first house as well. So Saturn, everything in your chart right now is about finding your balance and your sense of who you are and committing to yourself in a great sense and changing your dogma, changing your idea of who you are as a person.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I'm getting ahead of myself in my mind here. Okay, so Saturn's coming into your first house, which is going to trigger your Sagittarius and your Neptune at 22 degrees. So that's going to be a big thing for you. Let me just see how long that takes. It's actually in the first house as of just before Valentine's Day. Pretty much the same time Sun goes into, oh no, I'm sorry, not Sun. I was going to say Sun into Aquarius. We've already got Sun in Aquarius. I don't know what I'm thinking. Mercury, that's the one. Mercury goes into Aquarius, which is going to be your second house, which is ruled by Venus. So I'm guessing there may be some unexpected situation with a partner or someone coming in at that time. Definitely if there is someone that you run into around Valentine's Day, and it could be over the course of the next week after Valentine's Day too. Just watch for how they treat you, because Aquarian energy can be a hit and run kind of energy sometimes. So they may come in and seem really like, oh wow, I really relate to you, and they're good for a little bit, then they could flitter away. Venus is right behind Aquarius, and she'll be in Capricorn, which is a good thing because she is very responsible. So she's going to sit there and say, no, Venus, you have to be responsible to this person. So, like the 14th through the 16th, you'll still have Venus in Capricorn. So if you meet someone in that timeline, that would be something that's probably more lasting. And I keep getting ahead of myself. So what I'm saying is right now the planets are in Capricorn in your first house. It is about you, okay? And Jupiter in Virgo, on your Jupiter in Virgo, it's alone time, solitude, getting to the heart of learning some things about yourself. And so then let me see where your planets might indicate something coming in. I think when Venus gets to latter degrees of Capricorn, right after she goes into the second house, could be a good time for you, which is in about a week. And I double check. I know I just said that, but I don't trust what I say. Okay. Yeah, the 22nd, so 17th. Oh no, I take it back. See, that's why I don't trust what I say, because I say something and then I go back on it. Hang on a second. That was I was looking at January. And that's only because occasionally I get a little spastic when the planets are in air signs, and like Sun in Aquarius just sets off my Aquarius in my chart. I start to get too many thoughts. So anyway, Venus on the 12th, like the 11th and 12th, that timeline is pretty good for you. So what are we in the 2nd? So about 10 days from now.
So if it's me time, then it's me time. So if that's what it is.
Do you feel that? But are you feeling that? Okay.
Oh,
yeah. See, the Mars, this is the other thing. Mars is really enhancing your house of friendship right now, and he's going to go retrograde this year, and he's going to go back and touch your house of friendship. So I think that after September, it's going to be a really good time for everybody relationship-wise, because right now Jupiter in Virgo just wants us to be alone. I feel it really strongly, but I have a lot of Virgo in my chart. When Jupiter gets to Libra, it goes to your midheaven, and then that puts a spotlight on you and the spotlight on Jupiter, and you just kind of light up. Like, it's like lighting up a house with a billion Christmas lights. It's like, wow, where'd she come from? And it's in Libra, which is marriage and partnership. It'll also be career for you, because that's the house that's ruled. And I'm thinking like just over a year. Let me envision. It's around July of next year. Jupiter's going to hit your Pluto. That's major life change, and it's a shift around marriage partnership. And it's also conjuncting your moon, which is your moon and Pluto are conjunct in your chart. So Jupiter on your Pluto is major life changes. And so definitely when he gets to Libra in September, that's the time that I think it's really going to start to click and make sense for you. And then definitely by next year summer, there's going to be some major life changes around partners and career and things like that. So,
Very cool.
I mean, you may still run into people this year. I'm not saying romance is out of the question. I'm just saying that the major shifts are coming romantically next year. And again, Jupiter and Libra has everybody partnering. It's like, oh, you get together and you get together and you get together. And you're like, oh, thank you. So that's what it's going to be like. Okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Quickly, you said something that's happening with Neptune?
Neptune is in your house of communication, and so I was just looking at that, trying to see, because Neptune is about like universal love. So I was trying to see if there was anything there with that going on. I know what I was saying specifically. Saturn is coming onto your Neptune in your first house, which means you're going to want to move. Saturn is like, you have the ideas right now, and it's in the 12th house, which is a little watery. But when it gets into the first house, it's like, I have to do this, because it's like you're being born again. And when Saturn goes into the first house, it goes from owning the past and the karma and the dreamy, ephemeral quality we have, the dreams, going into the first tangible, it's the Mars house. So you want to take action. And Sagittarius is a fire sign, so it also wants to take action, and it's coming up on Neptune. And that means that, like, whatever dreams and ideas you have now, when Saturn hits 22, you're going to be like, I don't have a choice. This is like for my life. I have to do this. This is your dream. This is your life purpose. Saturn is life purpose, so Saturn will be on your dream. So what it is your ideal vision of what you want for this life, and that's in your first house. So you very much need to be on the go, need to either be a teacher, need to be traveling, need to move to a place where you feel more comfortable, something that associates to Sagittarius. It could be music, it could be comedy. Those are all like my 5 main things that I usually talk about with Sagittarius. So
awesome.
Spiritual awakening. Okay?
Yeah, I'm also into astrology very much so.
Oh, good.
And I'm into like film and editing, so
that's all. Film editing is Sun Mercury conjunct in the house of communications. And then the South Node in Aquarius, and then your second house Aquarius, you have Capricorn ruling your second house of money, but it goes into Aquarius 8 degrees in, and that is Aquarius and Uranus are the rulers of astrology. So let's see, where's Uranus in your chart? It's in the 12th house. You're very intuitive about it. And, you could be really good at it. You should pursue it. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Hey, good talking to you again. Okay, thanks. Bye. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, let's go to 415. Hi, 415. Who is this?
Hi, this is Jessica. Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, Jessica. Good to talk to you. Have you called the show before?
I have, a couple of months ago.
Okay.
Maybe you have my chart. It's 7/16/77.
Okay, let me see. 7:16? Yeah. Okay. Hang on one second.
Okay.
Oh, let's see. I'm just going to grab that there and this one and do that. What can I do for you?
Okay. So you have it. It's the 7:12 p.m.
Yep, got it, Manhattan.
Okay, good. So everything was going really good. I'm not going to say it's bad now, but like a week and a half ago, so a lot of things were happening with career and with partnerships with career, and then some romance kind of poked its head up. And over the last week and a half, I haven't really heard back from people with my career, finances. There's a little bit of anxiety there now, and even with love life, I was going through some like obsession, which was weird. I just want to know what that was all about.
Love life obsession. Okay. Probably the love life obsession was Venus going through the 12th, which is now in your first house, just over the cusp. It's at 6 degrees into your first house. So when Venus was in the 12th, that can be like OCD obsessive. Venus in Capricorn in your 12th is going to be focusing on like I've got to do this because if I don't do this, then I have this unreasonable. I want to say it's fear related because it is Capricorn, but it's probably karmic because when that was happening, I don't know if you still feel that, but if it was,
when did it change? When did it come to the first?
Okay, hang on a second. I'll look that up.
Because I still have it a little bit, but I feel like, I mean, hopefully it's all completely done.
Yeah,
hopefully.
It was the 29th of January is when it went into your first house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was there, let me see, you had 14 degrees Sagittarius. So since, well, it's such a quick moving planet though. I mean, I don't know how long you were obsessive, but, and then
like
you also, pardon me?
Or a week and a half. A week and a half.
Oh, okay, because, yeah, that, I don't know, maybe it was a growing thing, because it, actually, Venus was, Venus was at 13 Sagittarius and on the 10th of January, okay? So you were probably building into it a little bit longer than you thought. If I'm thinking that's what happened, because what happened was Venus went over your Neptune, and then it went into the 12th house. So both Neptune, again, addict qualities, and also Capricorn can be a little OCD. So the combination of Venus and Capricorn and also Venus on your Neptune, then going into the Neptune house, and then finally exiting. So it was probably that.
Oh, it's terrible. God.
Well, there's going to probably be a little more of that coming up. I don't know. Right now, Saturn's on your Neptune, okay? So Saturn is also, it rules Capricorn. It rules that need for control. And then Neptune is the addiction. So I'm not saying everybody has Neptune in their chart. Not everybody is addictive. And that's also true for you. Just having Neptune in your chart doesn't mean you're addictive. But having Saturn on your Neptune can bring out certain tendencies around like obsession. So so just watch out, like there may be another, hey, remember this feeling? Here it is again. Okay.
So how long does that last now?
Well, Saturn takes 2.5 years to go through a sign, and he's only halfway through, and then he goes into your 12th house. So let me see here. And then he goes retrograde and goes back out of your 12th house and goes back into your 12th house. So,
God.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of time. Let's see, you have a 6-degree Capricorn rising. So he doesn't really exit till 2018. So it'll be over the course of 2 years. You're going to have the next 2 years are about understanding the boundary issues, like I was saying at the beginning of the show, and your own sense of responsibility for your boundaries, okay? So it's going to kick up pretty quickly because he's only 15 astrological minutes, which is probably like a week or less away from going into your 12th house. So let me see here. You have 14 degrees 29 minutes, and that would be the 6th. So about 4 days. He's going to be going into your 12th house. So you know what? I think if you want to get any deeper into this, you should probably call me for a private reading, because it's just a lot more to go into than I have time for today. But suffice it to say that Saturn and Sagittarius on your Neptune, then going into the Neptune house within 4 days, it's bringing up these issues of boundaries and finding out truth from people, issues around what's real, what's not. And you'll probably have some of that, like, I don't understand. That seemed like it was truthful and now it's not, or it was going to be this way and then it changed and now I don't understand why it changed, like that kind of thing, like cognizant issues. Does that make sense?
Right, which is what I was going through. Yeah. Which is totally.
So write that down. Write a note to yourself. Say, Shelley said, remember this, because you're going to experience it through February of 2018. So it's 2 years of learning about that. But it's also a growth of spirituality. So if you take up meditation and things like that, that can help you because it grounds you. If you can envision having roots come out of your feet into the ground, that will be a great exercise. Like throw down anything negative and that you don't understand or you don't want to carry, throw it into the ground for transmutation, and then pull up energy from the earth and just pretend your feet are roots, doing that kind of energy work, okay?
Which is also what I picked up too. I started meditating a lot more because I just feel like I need it.
You do. And follow those intuitions, because Saturn in the 12th house, you're going to be flooded with information, just flooded. It's going to be like, wow, look at this and look at that. And it's creative. It's creative energy too, Sagittarius. I mean, you're going to be like, seriously, I would write sonatas if I had that aspect in Sagittarius. Like start writing music or like scores for movies or something. You have a similar rising sign, Capricorn, to the lady you called just before, about talking about doing stuff in movies. So go ahead.
Just on a final note, I mean, what is the story with the finances as far as why that has come up again? And this has been a theme for a long time. Like, I want to be able to master this and just move on and feel totally safe and secure.
Right. Well, first off, it's dual. But first off, is it related to a partner? Is it related to joint finances or money from parents or anything like that?
It's just related to me being financially independent once and for all. Like, I've been working out and figuring this out for a while. It has to do with me doing my career and being financially independent with that.
Well, Saturn for you is in Leo, and it's in the house of joint finances. So for you, believe it or not, your career is very much dependent on a partner and committing to another person, bringing in someone else. And if there's any way you could do that, I would encourage you, a creative partner. So for you, like I had mentioned, the movie soundtrack kind of thing, that kind of thing is like there's a couple that wrote all the Frozen songs for the Frozen soundtrack. That would be like an ideal thing for you. I'm not even kidding. That, like, you have Neptune in Sagittarius, which is the music industry, in the house of money from career, and Saturn in Leo, which is creative, dramatic movie endeavors. It's about drama. In the Scorpio house, which is money from joint or career connected to joint finances. So if you're looking for the money, Jupiter's there now. It's in Virgo, and I understand wanting to be that autonomous person. If you're looking for, I would say, specifically a time frame, you're going to have a little bit of a warble when Jupiter goes into Libra next year, or the end of this year, because about, I would say, March, April of next year, you're going to have Jupiter right on your Pluto. And that's going to create some type of partnership opportunity. But if it goes retrograde at that time, which I think, it always goes retrograde. But, I think it's in March. Let me look.
Well, yeah, I mean, the partnership, that's what I have been, before I went into this obsession thing about the romance, I was very excited about. I was like interviewing people for possible partnerships.
Awesome.
I was really excited about that. And then it just kind of got a little silent related. And I also thought that this romantic connection might have been a business connection too. So that was like perfect for me. But that's where it all went.
Well, that's a Mercury thing.
I want to bring in a partner.
That's a Mercury thing that happened when it was like, oh, then I didn't hear from him. So what happened was it was going on while Mercury was retrograde. And then when Mercury went direct, it's like, well, where did they go? So it kind of is a Mercury in reverse. So they were around while Mercury was retrograde. So maybe they have Mercury retrograde in their chart because you don't, but they probably did. And so they were active during the Mercury retrograde. And then when Mercury went direct, they're like, oh, nope. And then that could make them evaporate because, again, Mercury, Uranus, air signs, they are on the go, like, or even fire signs. Like it's not necessarily about the stable qualities. It's about the creativity and the concepts. Okay, so I understand that was going on. That's still a possibility in your chart, but what I want to get to is Jupiter going in, and actually I looked it up. It's November when it actually gets into Libra in the Sagittarius house. And so November, this coming year, there's going to be some opportunities for you, definitely strong opportunities for you, because that Jupiter gets on your Pluto and sextiles your Neptune in Sagittarius. And Jupiter will be in your Sagittarius house. Strong opportunities for moving, long-distance relationships, and spiritual growth. Then Jupiter gets to your midheaven at Scorpio in probably late August the year after. And when it gets into Scorpio, that's commitment, but it's also commitment to career. And so that's really when I see something coming in for you, is more when Jupiter gets to your midheaven and then goes into your career house. And that everything will really go, the way you want. And it'll get much stronger at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just look up the exact time for you, just so you know. You could write this down. So Jupiter goes to 0 degrees in October of 2017. And so October of 2017 is going to be pretty good for you, I'm guessing. It's going to be a lot of life changes. Major shifts. Jupiter is all about like get up and go and let's make this thing happen. And Pluto is major life change. And it's up in spirituality, it's in partners. I would just caution that you don't take any, brash action. Like, you're definitely going to want the partnership. It's getting stronger for you because when planets are in Libra, especially Jupiter, it just wants to partner. And up there, it's, it's about people from other cultures because it's in the 9th house. So you're going to probably end up moving somewhere or going somewhere, but you've also got Jupiter conjunct North Node right now, and your Pluto, when Jupiter gets on it, will be conjunct North Node, and that is transition and transmuting the energy of self for you. It was in Aries. It's in Libra when it goes in, and that's going to be really embracing the coupling, okay? So there you go. So you got a lot of dates. I would listen to the show again in archive to catch some of the dates if you didn't write them down. Okay?
Yeah, well, I was taking notes. I just feel like such a crankiness about, like, I want it all now, It's like a constant back and forth.
No, I totally get it, and everybody, I think, is feeling that, and what that is Jupiter in Virgo retrograde. Because Jupiter wants to expand and Virgo wants to nitpick, and it goes retrograde, and now Jupiter's stuck nitpicking and going back over stuff that it didn't want to go over. So it's a frustration, and that's in Jupiter. Okay?
Yeah, annoying. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. My pleasure.
All right, have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, let's take one more call here. I've got 951. Hi, 951. Who is this?
Nathaniel, hi.
Nathaniel, hi, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I just reached a settlement on my, and so they gave me like $12,000, so like realtor or whatever realtor, but the attorney.
After Mercury went direct?
Yeah.
Of course.
it was on the 20. It was really kind of strange, because like smack dab Tuesday, I went to a doctor for evaluation, And then Wednesday they had a priority conference, and I had to drive like 130 miles to Long Beach. I don't know if it was even longer than that. And they provided transportation, so it wasn't that bad. But I'm going to get the money. I think I want to get a car, and I want to move out of the town I'm in. I wanted to see what the stars were saying.
Well, of course, Mercury-Pluto conjunction, and that's where Mercury was when you heard. And then, it just approached the Pluto conjunction. Venus is coming up on it. Venus is property and partnership. Do you have somebody coming in? Are you going out with anyone? Because there's strong...
No, a lot of people have told me that I'm going to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
I'm in a romance this year, big romance year.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm really looking forward. I should probably trim down all the pounds and,
Oh, heck yeah. You got a Jupiter return, a Saturn return? Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's right. I got a Saturn return and a return too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're in your Saturn return. Literally, you're 1 degree off. It just went past 13. And I think it's going to get back to 13 when it retrogrades this year. So we'll all get the benefit of that. Yay.
I was a little, I was a little down about the money. I thought I was going to be getting more money.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think
really?
I should ask? Do you think I should actually ask for more now?
Venus coming up on Pluto. You could if you are inclined to. Jupiter retrograde. You might want to negotiate. Jupiter is retrograde, but it's retrograde through May. So, but you've got Venus and Pluto in the house of joint finances and legalities. So, you're in a Jupiter return, but it's a little shy. Actually, no, I take it back. Oh my gosh, it's the way it's looking. Yeah, I would say you have a natal Jupiter at 22:17 degrees retrograde, and in the sky today it's 22:12 degrees retrograde. So it's almost exactly on your Jupiter, and you have 1 degree off on your Saturn return in Jupiter's sign, which is Sagittarius. So, and Venus approaching Pluto. Yeah, I would actually go for it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Big yes. See what you can do. But the show is over. Yeah, one quick question. Is there anything else I can do for you before the show's over? And Moon just went into Sagittarius as well. So that's also a positive thing.
I asked for the lawyer to call me yesterday, so I'll talk to him. Okay. I guess, let's see, I don't know. I want to move, and I'm looking for the romance, and I'm looking for a job, I guess. I have a car.
Mm-hmm.
So I got and a computer. You said something about a computer and Jupiter, or Aquarius. When what gets into Aquarius is a good time to buy a computer. What date is that?
It was probably the sun, but you've got Chiron at 17 and the sun's at 13, so I would wait at least a week till the sun gets past your Chiron. Because I wouldn't put anything on Chiron to get a new computer because Chiron is a wounding, and you don't want anything to happen from the computer, like any kind of damage, because that would be something that potentially there could be it's on your midheaven. It can be like a fraudulent situation or some information that you don't know. So I would avoid having anything near your Chiron if you get a computer, because you don't want to have that computer be an impetus towards any bad actions, okay?
I probably wouldn't want to get a car, too, because they have computers a lot in and out.
That's true.
For another week. So, another week or so.
Yeah, wait another week. Yeah. Definitely at least minimum of 4 days, which is when sun's on Chiron, but I would wait a week.
Hey, well, thanks. Thank you so much, Shelley.
My pleasure. Good talking to you. I'm so happy that you got something. If you feel inclined, go for it. You've got you're in a good cycle, in an exact Jupiter return. So, okay?
Cool. Thank you so much, Shelley.
You're welcome. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Thanks to everyone who's listening. If you could go on iTunes and leave a review, that would really help, because that helps my show move up in the rankings and people can find me then, which means more people who I can help and listen. So anyway, that's all, and thank you for listening this week. We will talk to you next week, and I'll see you then. Bye. Take care. stopping by AstroEnergy this week. If you would like to get a hold of Shelley Overton, you can get her at astrologerangel.com, on Facebook at AstroEnergy or Astrologer Angel. The music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com with additional music by Ironwood Rain. Check them out on the net.